Welcome to part 2. We have now read the first 7 pages of chapter 1, and I want to show you some features and elements for creating chapter 1, part 2, and the details we're looking for. So in the setting, I will have you write in the details. There's some key information we find out. We're in Soledad, or outside of Soledad, which is in California, Northern California. You want to make sure that you add the location, our time period. We're in the 1930s, which is the U.S. Great Depression. As far as time period, we do know that. I have that grouped together. So if I want to move this detailed text box, I would come in, I would ungroup, and I can scoot it over a little bit. You don't have to use bullet points, it's up to you. And you want to include as much detail as possible, but sometimes we can do that with visuals. So as the men are walking through, we're told that there's some sycamores and willow trees. So this is actually a willow tree. I looked it up in Elements for willow tree. This is actually symbolic in literature. It's called the weeping willow. For sort of sadness. So that is sort of an important feature that you want to include. In order to get this image here with the mountains and the valley, I typed in valley. And I look through, you might have slightly different images. I try to find something similar to both description with the mountains on either side and the tone as well of the elements that I'm using. It was also mentioned that there was a rabbit. There was a nice simile about it sitting like a statue. So I typed in rabbit. You can choose any one that you want. I'm trying to use some silhouettes and make it look like a statue. And I changed the color to a gray. And I could always go back in and change it a little bit more. So I can bring this over. And there was also a mention of a heron, which is a type of bird that gets scared away, that flies off as the men come through. So I picked one that's flying, and when it popped over, it actually is facing the other direction. So just so you know, oops. If you're having any problems with the text moving because the images keep going in the center, you can group these together. And it should make it one piece. And you can keep grouping so that it won't move all these little pieces. And you might have to ungroup in order to group. And when you're trying to do multiple things, you press Shift, you highlight the box, and then click your pad until you, your mouse pad, until you get everything highlighted that you want, and group should pull up. If it's not, it means you have other things grouped that they want you to ungroup first, which is kind of a pain, but you can ungroup and then come in and group again. So that is if you're having trouble with this text moving around, you might want to set that up first. So that's grouped. If I want to just flip this around, I have the flip option, flip horizontal. I can make it larger or smaller. One thing you might notice is they aren't layering the way you want to. For example, the bird is on top of here, which is fine, but maybe you want him behind the rabbit. And you would use the positioning keys. Sometimes you have to click backwards a couple times. I'll show you in some other images. Next, we're going to set up, as we go along the circular structure, I'm going to go ahead, I clicked on the first box, I'm going to hold Shift, I'm going to click on this box, I'm still holding Shift, and I will click on the background. I'm going to group it. Notice how it changed the position. That's fine. I can go to position, click backwards. And if that's still not enough, I can click backwards again. And if it's still not enough, I can do it one more time. And it's just layering all of your images. And it might have to be done several times. So don't worry, you're not doing anything wrong. You're just getting them all in position the way you want to. So I'm going to click on this group. I'm going to press Command C, then Command V. I'm going to start setting up some key information. I'm going to set up over here at the very end when we get finished reading chapter 1. We're going to have thematic topics. If this keeps happening and you have to ungroup in order to take your subtitle, again, to make the line height spread out, you go into line height. And if you want it to, you kind of decide where you want it. And so you will set this up. I'll show you an image at the end of how it should look. And so you're just copying and pasting around the circle. I'll show you the image at the end. We are going to use a copy and paste feature of the same for the characters. I want to set up 2 separate boxes for the characters. I want to show you how I'm going to do it. I'm going to ungroup. I'm going to call this characters. This is one of our 7 elements, including this setting. Characters. I make my box a little bit larger. Grammarly would go away. There we go. I might have to move it over a little bit. So I've had to ungroup in order to move things around. So my characters are here. I'm going to bring it up because I want to have room to talk about my characters. But I want to make this, I want to crop this because I want one little piece for George. So I'm going to crop this way. And I'm going to undo. And I'm going to copy paste. And I'm going to flip this, going up to the flip horizontal. I want another piece. I just want it to be slightly separated up here. So one piece for George, one piece for Lenny. They will both get a place for details, the adjectives and adverbs that are used. I'm just going to set this little detail box up here for now. I can always type in later, copy, paste. Should be a separate one. Where's my paste? And see, there we go, Command V. And I'm also going to use this title, copy C, copy V. We have 2 protagonists. This is something special. To this story, not all stories have 2 protagonists. They're actually foils of each other. That'll be a term we'll learn a little bit later. They are highlighting characteristics that are opposite of each other, and we'll see how that plays out. So I want to also make sure that I have my character names today. I want George on one side, and I'm going to keep them all on the same side. So all of George's information will be on the left, and all of Lenny's information will be on the right, so I can keep my characters straight. So these will be all my character notes. We have Lenny. I want to make sure I'm spelling it correctly. It's with an I-E and not a Y. And I want to show you how I created these silhouettes. Real quick. I looked up, when I was trying to find images of men, I looked up men or man standing silhouette, and you can see different options. And I just sort of peeked through. I wanted definitely to have some sort of pants. None of them have any hats on. I'm going to show you how I actually added the hat. I think I used this one. I don't know if you'll have this with your Pro, but anything similar, just show me. And it doesn't have to be as detailed, whatever you have available. And this is what I did. I typed in cowboy hat because they both have hats on. They're like rancher hats. I picked something like this. You could pick any one you want. I picked the brown one. I'm going to resize it to go on his head. I'm going to build it over here. I didn't like the position, so I flipped it horizontal. I made it a little bit smaller So it looked correct, and I think I turned it down, like I just rotated it just a little tiny bit. It's still a little big, and so I played around with the position, and then I played around with colors. So I went into the browns up at the top, and I changed it so that it was primarily black to go along with the rest of the silhouette. So that is how I created him. And once you build him, you have two pieces. You have the hat and you have the man. And so I'm gonna hover over the hat. I'm gonna click on it. I'm gonna hold and press the shift, or press and hold the shift key. I'll click the second box and I'm gonna group him. And now he is one image, and then I can move him around. Now he's a little bit smaller, so I'm gonna play around with him to be a little bit smaller as they come down the path. He is first, so I also want to demonstrate that he is the first person. I also created a bindle. This is the little sack that they are carrying. This holds all of their belongings. They're technically homeless. This is what pulled up for me. If you don't have bindle, you can find anything close to this. I cropped this little kid out using the crop feature, done. And now I have a bindle. I can make it smaller. I can flip it. And now I can make it even a little bit smaller up here. And now it's attached to him. If you ever have a problem where you're trying to group this new image, like it won't let me do it. It wants me to ungroup the first set, and then I have to go in and click the hat, press and hold the shift, press the man, press the bindle. Now I can group. And then I did something similar. I just looked for large man standing. I'm looking for someone with pants that looks kind of big. And so that's how I put Lenny together. I found a slightly different cowboy hat, same sort of features. And I'll show you the next step in just a moment. All right, let's look at the final features that I placed to get set up for chapter 1. We do understand that Lenny has a mouse in his pocket, so we're going to eventually add some more description about what we think about that in the Lenny box here. Notice that George is kind of walking in front of Lenny and that he's much smaller, so I wanted to make sure I demonstrated this feature. Lenny is described as drinking and gulping like a horse. So there's a lot of animal references to Lenny. I wanted to make sure I include that imagery or indirect characterization. And he's also described as having like his big paws and kind of like lumbering like a bear. And there's more reference to this later in chapter 1. I just copied and pasted from up here the same image and made it a little bit larger so they're side by side. I added dialog box in the elements. I just typed in dialog box. And it might have looked or faced in one direction, and I just used the flip feature so that I can eventually add some key dialogue pieces. And here I'll have more description about George after we get through reading. We will take a look at their conflict and power dynamic, their motivation, and some thematic topics. So I went ahead and set that up. What I do need you to finish is writing as much in the description for setting and some characteristics of the men, some adjectives and adverbs used thus far. And as long as you have that typed in and everything else set up, there's one more thing that I added that's important. And that is this directional sign. So I typed in elements directional sign, and then I added the words weed and ranch. They're coming from a town from Weed. We'll find out more of the story of why they had to run off. And they're heading to a ranch. They are ranch workers. They travel ranch to ranch, which is why they only own a few items in this little bindle. And we want to make sure we have this added in and we understand where they're coming from, where they're going, and we'll get some more information about their conflict and power dynamic, motivation, thematic topics as we finish chapter 1.